This is the Pantheon. It's the best preserved ancient Roman building in Rome. Not only that, its dome remains the single largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. On a low-lying stretch of land in the heart of Rome, the Pantheon rises from what was once Campus Martius, a floodplain outside the city's earliest sacred boundary. Known in antiquity as the Field of Mars, this district was associated with military musters and public monuments. Its proximity to the Tiber River meant unstable marshy soil, so Roman engineers first stabilized and elevated the ground, an early sign of the technical ambition behind the project. The monument we see today was commissioned by Emperor Hadrian during the height of the Roman Empire and constructed roughly between 118 and 125 AD. That makes it about 19 centuries old. Yet, its facade preserves the name of Marcus Agrippa, who built an earlier temple on this site around 27 to 25 BC. Hadrian deliberately retained Agrippa's inscription, linking his new structure to Rome's imperial past. From the outside, the building projects authority and continuity, a deep portico, monolithic columns of imported granite, and a pediment that once gleamed with bronze decoration. This was not simply a shrine, but a political and religious statement, an assertion that Rome's power, like its gods, was meant to be eternal. Roman builders pushed their technology to its limits when constructing the Pantheon. What makes the structure revolutionary is not only its scale, but how it was made. Roman concrete allowed architects to think in shapes rather than blocks. Instead of stacking stone, they poured mixtures into wooden formwork, creating a single unified mass. This gave the building enormous cohesion, more like carved rock than assembled masonry. The rotunda walls function as a hidden skeleton. Inside them are relieving arches and hollow cavities that channel weight downward and away from weak points. These internal structures are mostly invisible to visitors, yet they carry the load of thousands of tons. The Romans were not overbuilding, they were distributing forces with precision. The design shows a deep understanding of stress even without modern physics. The dome itself was poured in stages, likely in concentric rings. Each layer had to partially cure before the next was added. Builders carefully selected aggregates to control density, creating gradient from heavy to light as the dome rises. This was not decorative, it was structural calculus. The famous coffers carved into the ceiling further reduce weight while maintaining strength. Their pattern also creates a visual rhythm that draws the eye upward, merging engineering with aesthetics. Religiously, the temple honored multiple deities tied to Rome's power and mythology. Among them were Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. Some scholars believe planetary symbolism shaped the ritual use of the space, aligning divine worship with the heavens. The building's open oculus may have reinforced this celestial connection, allowing sunlight to animate the interior like a moving spotlight tied to time and season. Several notable moments in Roman and later history unfolded around the monument. It stood through fires, political upheavals, and the gradual decline of imperial authority. When many classical buildings were stripped for marble or metal, this one largely escaped systematic destruction. Its massive concrete shell was simply too difficult to dismantle, and its continued relevance discouraged reuse as a quarry. A major shift occurred in the early 7th century. Pope Boniface IV received the building from the Byzantine emperor and consecrated it as a church. Renamed Santa Maria ad Martirs, it was dedicated to the Virgin Mary and Christian martyrs. This conversion ensured maintenance, clergy oversight, and steady repairs. In many ways, this decision saved the structure from the fate of other pagan temples. During the Renaissance, the building became a classroom for a new generation of artists and architects architect seeking to revive classical knowledge. Its proportions were measured, its geometry analyzed, and its harmony admired. Raphael Sanzio requested burial there, a sign of profound respect. To him and others, resting within the ancient monument symbolized continuity between antiquity and rebirth. Michelangelo studied its design and praised its near-supernatural perfection, seeing in it the lessons for the rebuilding of St. Peter's Basilica and other projects. What ultimately preserved the structure across 2 millennia was a combination of engineering, intelligence, adaptive reuse, and cultural reverence. It was never left to decay in isolation. Each era found meaning in it, imperial, Christian, and humanist. The result is a monument that did not merely survive history, but moved through it, absorbing new identities while still retaining its ancient core. For nearly 2,000 years, the Pantheon has outlived emperors, artists, and entire eras, yet it still whispers its secrets about its builders, its rituals, and the intentions carved into its perfect forms. Preserved, studied, and reinterpreted, it stands not as a relic of the past, but as history still whispering into the present. Anyway, folks, that's all from me. Thanks for watching.